been a little while since I've been able to film any day in the life stuff. We've had a fair few big projects going on which will be coming in future videos, so keep an eye out for them. But I thought I'd chuck the camera on to do a bit of filming today. We got a student coming in, bringing in their tree from their class to get repotted. We've also got to do a bit of watering around here, and I've also got a Alberta spruce, a big chunky Alberta spruce that I want to start working on. I'll have a bit of lunch, and then I think the student is coming in to get their tree repotted, and then we'll get started working on the big old spruce. We'll see you on the other side. Yeah, it doesn't take people long to work it out.
Last time I was here, this wasn't here.
Yeah, we would have only opened up, what are we now? Maybe just over a year ago?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hadn't been here for a while. We sort of come regularly.
Yeah.
Ever since it was just a little building there.
Oh, really?
Tiny building.
Yeah.
I don't think the restaurant was open.
Okay, yeah, right.
Or
Yeah. I wasn't implying that.
And how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Ends of your time, aren't they?
Yeah, weekends. Yeah, although we get a lot of people through during the week as well. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
What a lot of work you've got to put into.
Yeah.
How many years work in some of these things?
Oh.
Well, I said the size of the trunks was.
Yeah, well, I mean, the age of the trees isn't how long they've been a bonsai for. So most of the older, well-developed trees in here have been bonsai for maybe 15 or 20 years, but the age on them is maybe closer to 100. So, yeah, still a long time. Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
They really are.
Yeah, certainly some nice trees here.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
It took me that little while. Why have they got
Yeah.
possums out?
Yeah, well, it ends up being a playground for the possums because they just love to dangle off of it, and they try and eat all of our maples, all the leaves on the maples. Yeah.
I have got possums now.
Yeah.
We live down in Mitcham, and we've got lots of trees. We've got a tree there.
Yeah.
And for the last 2 years, the possums have started stripping a lot of trees.
Yeah.
Which means there are too many possums.
Yeah, definitely.
Been there 30 odd years, it's never been.
And now they're all there, and then you can't really do much about it. Not legally, anyway. No worries at all, mate. Yeah, you too.
He's been given a bonsai kit for his birthday that has the wire, and he's been given, I think my mum probably even came here.
Oh, right, okay.
We're just down the road.
Yeah, right, yeah. Did it come with a pot as well?
We've got given it a dish.
Okay, yeah, yep.
And it's probably that depth.
Yep.
Depth and about that big.
Yep.
Would that be suitable?
Yeah, I think that should be fine. Yeah, yeah. I would probably suggest repotting it early spring, if you can hold out that long.
But is it alright to trim it?
Of course, yeah. You can do a trim and even get some wire on it now, and that'll help set it up for spring.
Did you hear that, Beth? Yeah, you said not to put it in the hot.
Yeah, so I would just wait until early spring. Maybe do all your wiring and pruning now, and that way you can just rest over winter, and then come spring, you'll be able to put it into a pod, no worries. Yeah. So rather than doing all the styling and pruning at the same time that you repot, it's best just to try and do them at different times, so it doesn't stress the tree too much. Yeah.
And can I ask, because I'm going to do one with you, so
Yep.
I just wanted to get one of the green.
Yeah, which size? This size or that size?
Just a small, I've got a small one. I was actually
Oh, one of these ones? Yeah, cool.
anything in the same place that's a tiny bit bigger.
Bigger? Probably not in the green.
Look at the $30 ones.
These ones?
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
One of those, cool.
I'm going to do that's what I'm going to choose.
So just those two then? Cash or card? Yeah, cool.
He's been given the soil too.
Yep.
And it smells like blood and bones. as
Right,
well.
okay.
Give it-
Yeah, right.
Would you mix that in or not?
Probably not.
The smell is
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
Need to change this soil.
So what you'll probably end up doing is you'll cut out most of it
Yeah.
and then maybe just tease some of it out as well to try and fit it in there, but you will need to top it up with something.
Okay, but that's kind of soil. Is that the
Yeah, if you can, I mean, we sell like a general mix here, so you're always welcome to come back and grab a bag of that when you're ready to do repotting. It's the same sort of soil. It's going to be better than the Bunnings stuff because the thing with the Bunnings is that it has a lot of fines in it. So what it does is it retains a lot of moisture, and if you don't get the watering right, it doesn't really dry out in between each watering, so it's just constantly getting wet and wet, and you end up with root rot.
To dry it out.
In between waterings a little bit, yeah. So you don't want to keep it wet, but you don't want to keep it dry either. So it depends on the weather.
Interesting.
So it's really just a matter of monitoring it. So for
And I'm
instance,
assuming these are right outside up here.
yes, yeah, outside, get as much sun on it as possible. Yeah. Even once it's in a bonsai pot, as much sun and air and things as you can.
Sebastian, you should be listening. There's lots of tips here. So outside in the sun
Yeah,
and spring. We've got to remember spring,
yeah.
and so that's when the rock would go in then too.
If you wanted to put the rock in now, you could probably do that. The only thing is that when you repot it, you might just have to take it out and then sort of do all your repotting work and then just place it back in there.
But you could still find it and stuff.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
can help me do mine
Yeah,
because we've got some trees to do my one.
yeah.
We've got heaps of little maples.
Right,
everywhere.
awesome. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Especially if you're up here, they'll be growing everywhere. We also do classes here as
I
well.
was actually going to ask you.
And you do end up with a juniper as well.
Right.
So you get to pick out a juniper a little bit older than this, and you go through how to wire, prune, style, and repot, and you get to take it home at the end of the day too. So we do them once a month.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How much is it?
They're $2.95. Yeah, you pretty much end up with a tree the size of that juniper that I showed you in the display, and pretty much looking pretty similar like that. Yeah, so I think it would be good if he's keen, or you're both keen.
Would he be able to understand like
I think so.
the pitch of the classes?
Yeah, we have a lot of kids come in, especially if they're keen and they want to learn. And if he's got books and things like that, the first half of it is more the history of bonsai, and we go through how it started and where it originates. And then the sort of after lunch is all the practical. We actually get hands-on with all the trees, and we go through all of that.
And here as well?
Yeah, we have a workshop up the back where we do all our classes and things. And there's generally three instructors to walk around and help everyone as well. So.
Oh, so it's not you, it's someone else.
Yeah, it's me, the owner Jeff, and another colleague of ours. Yeah. No worries. Good luck.
Going in, they were making some suggestion. Maybe we could swing this up over here. I said maybe you just get rid of that. So they know that.
Okay. Cool.
Aside from that, I would just work with
Yeah.
the basic, just shape that it is, and just create a bit of pads. Looks actually healthier since it's been here. It's a lot of better growth. This one goes probably shorten.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I'll leave it with you, whatever you think.
Yeah.
It looks like it does create the option to send that leader up if you wanted to, but I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. I think I'll just maybe take it back to here and
just try to open it up a little bit and drop some.
maybe that can be the new apex up in
exactly.
here. And
I would keep it simple.
yeah.
Are you the people from Sassafras?
We are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got quite
Yeah.
a bit.
So
It
many
is.
times and
So,
As in here or back at
No, back
Sassafras?
there.
Yeah. We moved here about a year ago. Yeah.
thanks, Andy. See you,
my
man.
grandson's got a little bonsai.
Yep.
He's 15.
Yep.
He's had it for a couple of years. It needs shaping,
Yep.
and I've always been going to bring it up with him.
Yep.
He's mad on them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If he's keen, bring it up and we can go through it. Yeah.
Tell him what to do with the wiring and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just divine.
Yeah.
We're a group of ladies meeting here after having a trip to Japan.
Oh, lovely. Whereabouts in Japan did you go?
Oh, everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
On a garden tour,
Yeah. Nice.
3 weeks, and
Oh, awesome. Did you just get back? Did you say?
no, just some years ago.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
I would hesitate to try to repot it now, based on its health.
So have.
Is it look like it's draining alright?
Yeah, I might just try and get a bit of wire up there, and I don't think anything's holding it in, so
that's a good point.
It's got two.
Yeah.
It's got holes in there, so
You'll be able to get to it.
Yeah.
With like a 4 mil or something. Pies do it last night?
yeah,
Did?
just
Yeah, it was. I caught most of the first half.
yeah,
Very close.
yeah. I think 6 points in the end.
Wow.
Um,
Kept watching.
It's the biggest home and away game the doggies have ever played in terms of crowd.
75,000.
I think it was 78, almost 80,000.
I heard that at the beginning. I went, that's huge.
Yeah.
For this early in the season.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
It's actually, we would start talking about it. I didn't pull up the fixture because we always like to see St. Kilda play.
Yeah.
Because we go with Buzz.
Yeah, right.
We talk shit to each other.
Yeah. Because you're Hawthorn, are you?
No, we're May and I both Richmond.
Oh, Richmond, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. But he's a Saints fan.
Yeah, right.
Like if you don't get good seats at the G, miles away.
Yeah.
Last season we went to see Saints in Richmond, maybe mid-season, and I got killer seats, like almost on the field, and they weren't like that expensive because they're both shit. That's one of the benefits. But my hope was like it was going to be a really killer game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My brother-in-law, he's a MCC member, so he normally is able to get good seats. So we normally try and go for like the Collingwood Carlton games.
Yeah.
They generally play twice a year.
Do they play at the G?
They do. They play Collingwood home game, I think that's next month. I think it's like 2 weeks away actually.
Yeah.
But it's on a Thursday night.
Yeah, right.
It's like, like, why would you put it on a Thursday night?
Yeah, if you want to make a big deal about it.
But then the other way of thinking is that you're going to get so many people rock up no matter what night it is. So they can put that on a Tuesday and people will still turn up.
And it's really good. Like,
Yeah.
it's not bad view.
Hey man, how you doing? Yeah, good.
Good TV viewing too. The Thursday
Yeah,
nights, right?
exactly.
So kind of winning there.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the people watching at home and the people actually going. How'd you go, mate? Did you bring your tree back up or?
I didn't bring it with me.
Nah.
Did you find anything that you think might...
Yeah, I got a couple of options. Nothing glazed, at least in the size that I could find, but I do have these two here. So that was that real like oval. It's quite shallow, but I think you'd probably be alright to get it in there. Otherwise, this one, I think, in terms of sizing, is pretty good too. So probably just the shallowness of it, but you can always just mount it up a little bit for a season or two.
Some of the roots.
Yeah. But by the time, I mean, that thing's going to be so chockers that you could probably just cut that straight in half and you'll still have plenty of roots after it.
Do you guys have medium, like soils and stuff like that?
We do, yeah.
Do you have hummus?
We do. Are you after just like a straight bag of pumice or are you after like a mix?
Nah, I'll probably want to mix it myself.
Yeah, cool.
I've got a
pumice and acadama.
Yeah.
You have scoria?
No.
What sort of mix do you guys like for junipers?
Generally, it depends on sort of the stage that it's at, but you could go 1-to-1-to-1 of pumice, scoria, akadama, or you could do a blend with just your normal sort of organic mix, or you can just go organic.
Probably the optimum is going to be the looser mix, so you could go with akadama and or pumice.
Yeah.
But you're really going to have to watch your water.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really open.
I do all of mine in that mix, but I'm there to
but
water it properly, so...
So is that appropriate? Totally. But just hard warning that you're going to have to keep an eye on the water.
Yeah.
Probably the best option because not that the other ones are bad, it encourages really fibrous roots.
Yeah.
Good root growth.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage mostly. They'll be healthy and go in the direction you want to with any of the ones Shawn suggested.
Yeah.
But if you want to go down that road, which is a good one, and it's not bad to get used to, you're going to be encouraging better root ball.
Yeah. Given I work during the day, what's your timing? What are your thoughts on repotting this juniper I brought in last week?
I would probably do it.
Nowish sort of thing?
Yeah, it's super pod bound, like...
Oh, is it?
Like,
crazy,
I put water on it, it just kind of sits there for a while.
Yeah.
And then it eventually drains through. And what are your thoughts on, like, just with a chopstick, just trying to tease out all the old soil and then replace with a mix?
Just not all of it.
Yeah, not all.
Yeah. I would do like a section each time that you repot.
Yeah.
Being a conifer, you can't bare root it.
What I don't know the size of the tree, but I always sort of say 20-30%. Tease that out all the way around the edge. Tease it under the bottom, 30%. So you're coming in, you're coming up.
Yep.
And then you're likely pruning with nice shears those roots, keeping the core of the soil, and then incorporating the new into the pot. And the parameters of your pot are going to sort of dictate a little bit of that as well.
So the addition of scoria for what reason? Other than like drainage, right? But this does the same thing. This will also.
They'll all have slightly different qualities. So scoria is lava rock, which has lots of openings.
Yep.
So the water will go in, and surface area is important. So scoria has more surface area than akadama or pumice, meaning it's going to coat all of that surface, hanging on to that moisture a little bit longer, not through absorption, just through surface area. So it does drain, but it also hangs on, gives water a place to go, more so than the others.
Yeah, okay.
But ultimately, it's a similar role. That's why I say I don't necessarily think scoria would, put it this way, the Japanese rarely would use scoria. It's nice and open, of course, lots of oxygen in it if you're using pumice and akadama. But I think a good idea would go with akadama because it's going to, being a clay ball, it's going to absorb more water. Not surface area, but absorb more water to hang on to for a longer period of time.
Yeah. I'll grab this. I'll grab this. I'll go home. I'll measure out my pot. Are you guys open tomorrow as well?
Yes. Yep.
Might come back with it tomorrow then.
Yeah, cool. I won't be here, but Jeff or another dude, Mike, will be here to help you out anyway.
That'll be not that one, but I am considering that one.
Cool. All right. Yeah, cool. I can put that aside then. Yeah. I think it was a bit too strong. It was more just the size that was all right, so I thought I'd bring it in as an option anyway. Yeah. So just that one then?
Yeah, I'll just grab that.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
No worries, mate.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We're around tomorrow if you need a hand.
Yeah, I'll pop back in. I'll just go home and measure it up, and I might bring my.
You can bring a tree if you like. It's easier that way.
Yeah. Thanks, boys.
No worries. Have a good day. So this is the big Alberta spruce that I was talking about. Quite short, but you can see in terms of size here, it's pretty thick. It's quite a nice find at a general nursery around here. Basically, first thing I'm going to do, as I generally always do, is just dig out and find the nabari a little bit. We don't want to go and take branches off and sort of make any decisions in the foliage and branch structure before we find a good front, which generally is indicated by the nabari. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a dig here just to see what exactly is going on. If we can find some sort of flare, that'll be a good base to work off of. Any sort of early movement as well is going to be good. Might have to take this out of the pot, but I don't know how I'm going to do that exactly. Might have to work on it down here. You guys won't be able to see the work. I'll obviously show you once I find something cool, but for now I'm just going to be digging through soil, so you don't really need to see that. Hey mate, how you doing? Bring it up here if you like. Yeah, he said you're coming this Arvo, so... Nah, that's cool, I'm just having a little play with that, so... Yeah, for sure. How's it going anyway?
It's alive.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Still green.
Looking good, got all new growth on there. Yeah, no, that's good.
New growth is these small.
Yeah, they're going to be, just that slider, obviously that's all new. But you can see new buds popping out from pretty much everywhere, so...
I don't know what it is with the area, but they seem to love, I don't know if it's me, bonsai seem to love this climate.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So I've moved from the west.
Yep.
And I started my amateur thing of bonsai, but I didn't kill anything, but they weren't like...
Yeah.
But like here, they're just like thriving.
Yeah.
Like all species. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
It's like a Goldilocks zone here for
Is it?
growing.
It is, isn't it? It's not just me then.
No. So we don't get like the real hot weather. We're always like 6 degrees, sort of 5 to 6 degrees lower in terms of heat.
Yeah.
And we also don't get frost up here either. So it's like perfect for growing anything and keeping things alive. Yeah.
Everything just love it. Like they're just loving it. Like they're loving the sun. They're loving the frost. They're loving the moisture. In the air. They're really thriving. Like all of them. I just thought maybe 1 or 2 species, but like all of them are just going nuts.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so we're just going to be repotting this today then?
Yeah, it's just the intro class and it's too hot that day. So
yeah, no, now's probably a good time.
I've been waiting for the heat to
yeah,
I think we're safe now.
Yeah, I started just doing probably a couple of repots probably in the last 2 weeks. Again, being up here, it's so much cooler. Whereas at home, like, it's still hitting like 30 degrees, 31 degrees through the next week. So still a bit too hot, but up here.
Where are your stuff? Like,
I'm in Moorbark. So yeah, like 20-25 minutes from here, but still such a big difference. Yeah, some days like it'll be hot at home or whatever in the mornings. I'll come up here and there's still like all fog in the air and stuff, and I'm just like have like a whole wardrobe in my car because I never know what it's going to be like up here.
Yeah, your videos are good, by the way.
Thank you.
Like
yeah, appreciate it.
Easy to follow and
good.
You know, they're sort of
that's good.
Normal speak.
Yeah. I try and not dumb it down, but just sort of make it clear enough that, you know, even somebody starting out can still understand.
The important part.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that because I just YouTube overload. You know.
Yeah.
The hard thing is getting stuff from overseas.
Yes.
They always talk about seasons and times and all that, and you've got to try and put in your head, okay, where are these? Are these guys in England or is it in America? Or is it winter there? Something like it plays with. It's just too much thinking to
for sure. Yeah, even now I still am like looking up like dates and months of like when spring is over in like North America and stuff, and I'm just like, so if they're doing it like in May, how does that translate to when we can do it in here? And then you're talking about completely different climates as well.
Snow.
Exactly,
And we get 2 degrees, 3 degrees, and it's freezing here, and my cousin's in Canada and it's like negative whatever, and like this much of snow on his car, it's just a different, and you can't, so finding good Australian content is the hard part. It's just hard when you're learning because I'm not that level where I look at something and go like, that's amazing, or like the difficulty in that is like, I know what I like aesthetically, and I can appreciate art and style, but I'm not trained to look at something and go, that's taken that long to do it, and to do that he's had to do this and this. I don't see that yet. Yeah,
for sure, and everyone starts out that way as well. I look back at some of the trees that I thought were nice, and I go, shit, what was I thinking? Like, I've still got stock at home that I got originally, and it's horrible. Like, everything is so bad, but I still just look at it every day, almost as like a reminder of like, okay, so that's like the progression of what you can do.
But you got them alive still.
Yeah, exactly. They're alive. They just look atrocious.
One thing that everyone tells me about is be prepared to kill a lot of plants, and you know, I haven't killed anything yet.
No.
I've only killed one starter plant.
That
I got with my first bonsai, intro to bonsai, which was just a bad class selection. Because it didn't give clear instructions of how to do it, and we kept it inside because it wasn't supposed to be inside. But
unfortunately, a lot of people out there like that, and unfortunately, it's a lot of people's first experience with bonsai. And at least, luckily for you, you were interested enough to keep going and wanting to learn.
I had to,
whereas a lot of people, that's their first experience, and then what happens is they give up.
It dies. And
they die. They go, I couldn't keep that alive. I'm not going to try that again.
No, I don't know. I'm still getting into that, like buying bonsai like pre-done or pre-started. It feels like cheating.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
definitely. I understand. I understand that, and we get that a lot. I haven't grown any of my own trees.
As in like from the seed.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, I've only been doing this for 3 years, so even if I had,
okay.
I would still probably only end up with something younger than that. So
okay. That's amazing. So you've had a later change too. Or...
I was a spray painter for 14 years.
Like cars?
Kitchens, like furniture and stuff. Yeah, 2-pack. All right, well, let's get stuck into this then.
This pot is the right choice for it, but there wasn't many to pick from when I got up to there. There was only a couple.
Yeah, right.
So.
I think at least for this potting, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's deep enough that we don't have to take too much out of the original soil and root balls, even if it stays in there. Again, long term, if it stays in there for a couple of years, and then maybe get it into something a little bit more appropriate. Not that it's not appropriate. Give it another season. This is going to fill out like crazy, and it'll probably make more sense being in that pot. But once we put it in, it might just look a little bit scarce in terms of foliage, but I think it's a good choice going from nursery pot into something like that. So when we're repotting, we want to make sure that it's stable. If it's moving in the soil, once it's potted, that's not good, because it's losing contact with the soil. So you can see, well, we could probably go that a little bit more, because we don't want to just sit this flat onto here. We want to take that out a little bit so we can incorporate more of that new soil, and then we can see how it's going to sit in there. So when we sit it in, because we have that mound, we want that mound to get into the core of that root ball as much as possible. So by mounding it up, as soon as you press something flat on there, all it does is it squeezes out, and then anywhere that there's gaps, it fills into that area. So that's pretty important to make sure that you're getting all of the empty spaces in the root ball filled with soil. Find sort of the front, which is probably around here.
That's right.
So like that. Cool. So we don't want to tighten it too much on this first initial tighten, because what we're going to do, once we incorporate the new soil in, so fill all the way sort of around, get a good sort of layer on there. We get our chopstick. So this is important when you're repotting. Always sort of go in the same direction as well. So try not to then sort of go this way, but then go back this way. So you just work your way around. You can see how much is just dropping into place. When you're doing this, you also don't want to go straight down. You want to angle it.
Push it.
So wherever, so for instance, if I'm angling it like this, it's falling into the gaps. Whereas if I'm just going like this on the outer edge, it's not really doing anything. It's just dropping a bit of soil into that outer edge, but doing nothing in here. Whereas if we get it on that bit of an angle, it's dropping into all of the areas that we want it. Have a go at just sort of working your way around it. It could probably maybe go around once more. And again, we're not like putting too much energy. We're just letting the chopstick do the work, and just working your way around like this. And you'll see, like on some spots, maybe like around here, it's quite loose. You can just maybe work those a little bit more. Now that we've sort of done our initial one, particularly with this soil, we can then just use our hand to really compress it. So we've got all of, what the chopsticking does is it eliminates all of like the air bubbles in the soil. So without that, it may seem like firm on top, and you can maybe compress it with your fingers without doing that, but actually underneath, there's going to be gaps all throughout the soil. And whenever there's gaps in the soil, the roots can't grow there. That's why we chopstick. And I tend to be pretty diligent about that, because, I mean, fingers crossed, I've never had a tree die from repotting, no matter what time of year that I've done it. So now that that first sort of lot is done, we can then come through and really tighten this in now, because we've made sure that anything or any gaps that may have been like on the bottom edge of that original soil is now full. You can see that's not going anywhere. Unless you really, pump it, which hopefully that's not going to happen. And then again, once we fill it with a little bit more soil, that's going to hold it in place a little bit more too. And then we'll do like a final tighten, and then it should be fine. Yeah, just to make sure. I mean, it's probably not going to get much tighter than that, but maybe just a half turn sometimes, and then we chopstick again. So for this one, obviously we don't want to be going as deep, because we've already done that, and you'll probably find, I mean, doing the same amount of pressure, that's actually not going any further, unless you start to find areas that maybe are going a little bit deeper, and that's where you can just start to maybe just work them a little bit more, get a bit more soil. Like this spot, for instance, here is going much deeper than here. And you can sort of feel that yourself, the difference. See the difference in that? See if this can be tightened any more. Whenever you're tightening as well, just hold the tree in place so you can see. I can get probably another.
You can actually see it sucking in.
Yeah.
You can see it really smoothing in.
Yeah, so that's just not going anywhere now.
See any other obvious sort of issues?
Probably the main one that I see is this here, that branch there. It's fine there for now because it's filling in the space. We don't generally want branches coming out of the inside of a turn. So eventually this will take its place. So imagine this not here, and then this coming down on a really nice angle and just settling in nicely into here. We can maybe bring like this up a little bit and then around to fill in sort of the depth out the back there. And then probably the next one would be this branch here, sort of hiding a lot of the first half of the trunk. So
get rid of it.
If you would imagine it without, you really see that nice trunk now. We have good depth and foliage there anyway. So that's a really good branch. This is a really important branch. This is important, and then this is important. This is perfectly placed on the outside, so this is really good. We get rid of this one, and then we have this one come in to take its place, and then it's just a matter of letting these grow out. I would probably start to trim these back a little bit too. We don't want these to get too strong. Maybe even
too heavy then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they're apex dominant, so
they can get rid of it.
I would probably, now that it's starting to grow again, we want to take all the growth out of here and we want to push it back down into here and down into the lower branches. We want to keep that nice and compact because here is actually quite nice. But these need to develop more, right? So you take sort of that out and maybe that piece out, and then maybe a little bit out of here. This can maybe come back and be like the apex leader. And then, let these all develop out a little bit more. I think if you make those decisions, it's going to be really cool.